Okay, grade 8. So we're starting a new unit today on graphing linear relations. Today we'll just focus on review of graphing. I've attached a link on the notes about this French mathematician right here. His name's René Descartes. So you can click on the link and watch it. It's a quick 3-minute video. But basically, rumor has it that when he was very young, he would spend a lot of time lying in his bed because he would get sick quite often. And he noticed a fly landing at different spots on the ceiling. And in an effort to figure out if the fly ever stopped at the same spot twice, he developed the coordinate system by drawing lines on his ceiling. So it's a cute video if you want to watch it. So who invented the graphing system? A Greek mathematician named René Descartes. And he has that famous phrase, I think, therefore I am. Okay, so the Cartesian plane or coordinate system is formed by two intersecting lines here. So this axis, this line here, we refer to as the x-axis, and it is horizontal. And you can think of it as a number line. So if this was 0, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So this would be going in the positive direction. And then this way here, it would be going in the negative direction. So if this is 0, this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so forth. So this is the horizontal axis, and it's called the x-axis. Okay. And then the other line, this one here, this is called the y-axis, and it is the vertical line. And same thing, you can think of it as a number line. So if this is 0, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going in the positive direction, and then down this way, the y-axis would be going in the negative direction. So -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. Okay, so it's important to understand that these two lines that intersect form the Cartesian plane, and then the center here, that's called the origin. And if we give it a set of coordinates, it's 0, 0. So that's the origin. And then what happens is this plane here gets divided up into 4 quadrants. So we typically use Roman numerals for this. We'll have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And the way it works is this is quadrant 1, and in this quadrant here, the x values are positive and the y values are positive. Okay, here, so we go counterclockwise. This is quadrant 2. You'll notice that the x values are negative, but the y values are positive. And down here, which is quadrant 3, the x values are negative. So we have negative x values, and the y values are also negative. And then in quadrant 4, our x values are positive, and then our y values are negative. So it's important to understand this here. This ties into graphing in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, right? This is the basis of it. And what we'll do is we will practice plotting coordinates or ordered pairs. So in part 2, it says points in the plane are identified by ordered pairs. We also call them coordinates. So I might say plot ordered pairs or plot this set of coordinates. And they're always written in the form XY. X always comes first. And if you have a hard time remembering that, just think that X always comes first in the alphabet. And plot means to locate and mark on the plane. So that's what we'll do on the second page. Okay, so in example 1, what we're going to do is we're going to plot the ordered pairs or the coordinates on the following grid. So just a reminder, this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis, this is our origin, which is 0, 0. So if I was going to use a number line for the x-axis, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to label each one. You can just go through and label some of them. -1, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5, and so forth. Okay, so this coordinate here, A, 4, 3, so this is X and this is Y. So I start at the origin, and the 4 tells me that I move along on the x-axis 4 over, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the y value is 3. So from here I move up 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is point A here, right? So I went over 4 and up 3. So I'll do a couple with you guys, and then I'll have you pause the video and do the rest of them. So B, I start at the origin and my X value is 2. So I go over 2, and then my Y value is -5. So I go down 5 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is my B. And C, so I start at the origin, I go over -2, and then I go up 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's point C. And what I'll have you do is pause the video now and see if you can get the rest of them. Okay, so I used a different color here. For D, I went -4 and then -6. For E, the X value was 0, so I stay here and then I go up 8. So X is 0, Y is 8. For F, I go over 2 and then up 3. For G, the coordinates are 7, so the first value is X, so I go over 7, down 3 for G. For H, I have an X value of -7 and 0, and then for I, 0, 0, which is the origin. And now in example 2, we'll practice the reverse. We will practice writing the coordinates for each point. So the first one here, I thought I would make it a little fun by adding in some shapes to just make it a little bit more exciting. So our circle, we need to find the circle here. It's right here. And we need to write out the set of coordinates. So I start at the origin, and I know that I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that my X value is -5, and I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my set of coordinates. The first value is always X, the second value is always Y. Hexagon, which is a 6-sided figure, so you have to find the hexagon. And okay, so this was the circle. This here, 6-sided figure, that was the H for hexagon. So I'll start at the origin, and it looks like on the x-axis I go over -3, and then I go up on the y-axis by 6. So -3 and 6. I'll do one more with you guys. The fish here. So here's our fish. We'll put an F for fish. Starting at the origin, I go over 2 on the x-axis, and I go down -5. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, if you have the hang of it now, is just to pause the video and do the rest of them. Okay, so you can check over your answers here. The crab is at -2 and +2. The pentagon, a 5-sided figure, is at 5 and -1. The snail is at over 6 and down 3. The equilateral triangle, that's when all 3 sides are the same, is at -5 and -3. And then the square is at 3 and 6. So that's the end of this lesson, and then you can go ahead and start the worksheets.